Houston, the suburban Houston enclave of Meyerland has long presented a facade of prosperity and permanence. Built half a century ago on what had been rice fields, it totals more than 2,000 spacious homes, many with swimming pools, all set amid unfurling green lawns. In 1955, Vice President Richard M. Nixon attended the development's ribbon cutting. Michael Dell, the billionaire computer entrepreneur, grew up here. Driving through Meyerland, it's easy to envy those who are able to live in the neighborhood, the Houston Press noted in a 2014 profile of the subdivision. 3 major floods later, in 2015, 2016 and now with Hurricane Harvey, the envy is dissipating, replaced by the once unthinkable idea that swaths of Meyerland ought to be abandoned and returned to nature. Beating a retreat from a thriving neighborhood is a rarity in U.S. urban history, but after Harvey, the notion is compelling enough in flood-prone communities that it has drawn support from leading planners in Houston. And exhausted by repeated inundations, some residents say they would welcome a government program to buy out their vulnerable homes. A fair but extensive home buyout and removal program must be established, according to a report just issued by Rice University's Baker Institute for Public Policy. Many properties have been flooded 3 or more times since Tropical Storm Allison in 2001. We need to identify these areas and remove these homes from harm's way. It is unlikely we can develop strategies to protect them from severe rainfall events. The Harris County Flood Control District, which includes Houston, is moving forward. Officials announced last week that they are actively pursuing the funding necessary to proceed with Harvey-related home buyouts. Such a billion-dollar effort would probably be far-reaching, ranging from Meyerland in southwest Houston to Greens Point, a lower-income neighborhood on the city's north side, to areas around Dellington Airport southeast of downtown. Those 3 zip codes lead Harris County in repetitive national flood insurance claims. Other locales have frequently been underwater, too, and even before Harvey, several thousand people had requested that their property be purchased, according to the Flood Control District. Buyouts would not only take homes out of harm's way but also provide open land that could be used to absorb heavy rains or provide space for enlarging drainage channels. These would lessen flood risks for the rest of the city. Yet large-scale buyout programs often meet fierce opposition. A proposal to abandon some low-lying neighborhoods of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina spurred racial acrimony and other resentments. Ultimately, the idea was dropped. By contrast, nearly all homeowners in Staten Island's devastated Oakwood Beach opted to sell when New York State came calling after Hurricane Sandy. In the wake of Hurricane Irma, similar questions are likely to arise in the Florida Keys, where federal officials said Tuesday that many homes were destroyed or badly damaged. In Houston, the nation's 4th-largest city, buyouts could be contentious. While City Councilwoman Ellen Cohen, who represents Meyerland, says they should be considered only as a last resort, residents weary from repeated losses and living in dread of the next major rainfall may feel differently. Those like Suzanne Smith say they would leap at an offer for their homes if government authorities were to create a big enough program. Smith, 53, grew up and raised her children in Meyerland, but she's set on leaving. "I can't stay in this house where every time I fall asleep I worry it will flood and I'll have to be rescued by a National Guard helicopter," she said last week. Her home on Heather Glen Drive is just 2 blocks south of the miles-long Brays Bayou, which bisects the neighborhood. She was flooded by Allison in 2001, then again during what's now known as the Memorial Day flood of 2015 and the Tax Day flood of 2016. During Harvey, water reached nearly up to the eaves of her home. She lost artwork and $90,000 of inventory for her online menswear business. "I can't do this again," Smith said. Even before the hurricane struck on the weekend of August 26, many in Houston were beginning to fathom the depths of the area's flood dangers. As a result, the hurricane didn't uncover a new peril, it added several exclamation points to previously issued warnings. Last year, after the extensive April flooding, A Harris County Flood Control District publication asked a simple question: will we ever solve our flooding problems in Harris County? The answer, basically, was no. What did that publication advise Houstonians to do? Buy flood insurance. Everyone is at risk for flooding and should take steps to protect themselves and their families, it declared. Advocates of more aggressive steps hope the widespread inundation from Harvey, which reportedly reached more than 100,000 homes, will finally spur a